Hi, this is Walter with Cinnamon Steel. I apologize for the road noise you might hear. I'm filming this in my backyard. I don't have time right now to go out and do it somewhere else. But I just wanted to cover the full contact twist, several variations of it. There's a lot of confusion with people about how to do it. The full contact twist is an awesome exercise that really teaches you how to connect your hips with your lower body and your upper body, and how to transfer power or energy from the ground up through your hips and into your torso and then your arms. It's very important to be able to do that, particularly in the athletics, because a lot of your power is actually coming from your hip drive. But in order for your hip to do anything, it all starts with your foot. So you got to learn how to root your foot and then drive off that. So if you want to get really quick, you got to learn how to drive off your foot and get that quick hip snap into there. In any kind of sport, baseball, tennis, and things like that, having that type of hip drive can help you tremendously. So in order to do the full contact twist, first you need a barbell, and then you can just stick it in a corner or against a wall. Perhaps take a towel, float it up over the end so you don't chew the wall up or your floor. What I like to use, some people have a landmine. It's a metal device with a tube that your bar slides into. I made one really cheap. Just a junior-sized basketball filled with concrete. I took a pipe, put some duct tape over the end of the pipe. I cut a hole in here, a couple little flaps. I mixed some post-hole concrete and dumped it in here. And then I slid the pipe down in here and then filled it up with concrete around it and let it sit for a week. I also attached an old collar I had laying around just so I could lock my bar to it, because I use it for other things too. But you don't need to do that. Just a piece of pipe stuck into the concrete works. Just make sure you duct tape the end of the pipe before you stick it in the concrete, pack it with the concrete. Otherwise the concrete will fill your pipe up. It won't do you any good. So I just take my bar and slide it into here. So let's do that. That's my landmark. First we'll just do one really quick. The first variation, you start with the bar over your head like that, and then you would drop the bar down here like this, and then you'd get tight, and you bring the bar back up to here. Now where you grab it is going to depend a lot on your body. If you're a very short person, a taller person, long arms, things like that. But the principles are all going to be pretty much the same. Something to be aware of is you want to be on something where your feet can slip a little bit, because if your foot really grabs and doesn't slip, you're going to create a lot of shearing forces in your knee and do a lot of damage to your knee. So you want your foot to be able to pivot on that surface. So one thing you can use a couple paper plates on something, might help you pivot your feet better. You don't want it too slippery so your feet slip out from underneath you though. Still want a certain amount of traction. I just use a board. I'm outside, I sprinkle a little talcum powder on it. I'd rather have my feet slip a little too much than a little too little, just because I want to protect my knees. I already had meniscus surgery on this knee. And probably shouldn't even be demonstrating this right now because I had my molar pulled just a week ago, and the clot isn't still healed yet, so I don't want to blow it out. But I thought I want to get this information out here for you guys. So, full contact twist. The movement has to initiate with your foot. You got to develop the energy in your foot and root it to the ground. So when you're in this position and you got the bar down here, what you want to do is grab the ground with your foot and press that ball of your foot into the ground. You can use your whole foot, but the problem is it's going to be harder to slide your whole foot than to pivot off the ball of the foot. Plus it creates more friction and you're more apt to create knee shear. So get a little flex into your knee. You want to start off with the ball of the foot, and then as you create that energy and start torquing your hip in here, like your foot tightens up, pivots on the ball, keep your knee nice and snug and tight to protect it. Your inner thigh should be tight. Next thing, your glutes and your abdominals, your obliques, your intercostals, tighten all that whole area up. Then your ribs, crunch them down good and tight. Your lats, make sure they're tight. Push your shoulders down toward your pelvis. Really connect your arm with your body through your lat. And then when you grab the bar, you might want to use that corkscrewing technique to help you lock in a firearm. And when you grab your bar, kind of corkscrew into it, lock your elbows tight, really cramp them together, because if there's any bend and looseness in your wrist, in your elbow, and your shoulder, it's not connected, the energy you're trying to transfer from the ground build on through each succeeding muscle as that wave of energy passes through your body is going to get lost in a loose joint or a loose muscle. So bar start over here, breathe pretty much any way you want. When the bar comes down here, I got a little bend in my knee, my body's straight, I'm not way over like this, I'm not laying way back here like this. I tighten up, get the foot into the ground, drive it in the ground, start to pivot, and as you build that energy up, ball of foot, inner thigh, butt, gut, ribs, lats, arms. So think of that all at once, build that up, and come up. And then you can go over to the other side if you want, pivot to the other side, do the same thing. Come back down, tighten everything up. Initiate that chain of reaction starting with your foot. Create that energy and add to it with every muscle through your body. Just now, do these slow, add weight gradually. There's a lot of brutal leverage. You should be feeling it. If you're creating the proper tension and pivoting properly, you should really feel that in your torso and all those muscles in there, and even in your legs and everything. Build the weight slowly, progressively. Maybe do 3 sets of 3, a couple sets of 5, about 2-3 times a week, fit it into your program. The other way you can do this, if you're having trouble feeling it, even when you add weight to it, is give yourself a chain, some weight. What I'll do is I'd wrap this chain around the bar like this, because it's going to grab the bar better and it'll prevent my chain sliding on the bar. Get down against that counter, pick it up here like this. When you do it this way, it's going to be way more dynamic because it's like a live rather than just an inanimate object. So it's going to have a little more torque. So same thing, so you're going to bring it down, be careful you don't smack yourself in your knees. Then you're going to have to get really tight, and this can be really tough if you do it this way with a chain, perhaps a kettlebell or weights. Apologize for the Air Force flying overhead all the time. So you get tightened up. There you go. I probably shouldn't be doing that, but it's okay. All right, I'm going to show you another version of the full contact twist. This version, the bar starts up here, comes down the side, comes back up. You can work one side first if you want, then work the other side. Once you're more comfortable with it, you can go from side to side. And I'll show you another version.